Well, that was certainly a fun football game to be a part of. A lot of hard work. My hat's off to Army. They did some things that we had not seen. And, my hat's also off to our coaches and to our players for the ability to adapt and get some things fixed early on. Didn't feel like we had very much of a handle on things, and the kids really worked well with the coaches to get some things fixed. So it's great. Our triple option, both of them are in the barn. Now we go back and try to get ready for Cincinnati. So I'll take any questions.
Greg, can you just talk about Mo, what those records mean?
Well, I mean, Mo is, as I've said many times, every once in a while you get to coach a guy like that. And like that is pretty special. His ability, number one, obviously, and all the things he does for us. But as you guys know, probably not the best interview in the world because he's very quiet and doesn't want to ever take the credit. He's a true team guy who cares about people. So when you have a special guy like that who can have the success that he has and remain humble, I think that's there's not many of them out there. He's the all-time Big East leader for reception. That's pretty big deal.
Greg, you just talked about the difference in what you guys did defensively, maybe from the end of the first quarter on.
Like I said, they were doing some things that we hadn't seen. And the one thing that we worry about is we do what we do. And we know that every time we play Navy and Army, we're going to have to adjust during the game. Maybe it's time to start doing a couple other things. I just don't know how other people. I don't know how you do it. It's so hard for all the things they do. We just try to do our jobs, and they did some plays that we needed to adjust that we had not seen on video before, ever. So you try to adjust, and if you can figure it out quickly enough, sometimes the answer is a great answer, but you can't get it taught to your kids without repping it and practicing and teaching it on a film. I thought our kids were great tonight, the way they adapted.
Coach, how have you been able to dominate Army 5 straight in the last 8 meetings?
Well, I don't feel like we dominated. I mean, we have been able to find a way to win, but every time we have a tough football game with them. I mean, I think their guys play their rear ends off, and Coach Ellerson is just, I can't say enough good things about him as a person and as a football coach. His staff they do an excellent job, really an excellent job.
Coach, right here in the front.
What there, Greg, could you talk about your special teams in general and in the block punt in particular that led to the touchdown?
Well, again, special teams, as you know, you're at practice. We spend a lot of time on it. Rob Smith does a tremendous job, and our kids really think it's important. They want to play on that. And our punt block team is kind of like the funnest team we have. And people have been doing things to negate our ability to block punts, so it's become kind of like the PAT field goal block team. But we felt we had an opportunity this week if we had the. It's not easy to get them in a punt block situation. They don't take many negative plays, so we got them on one, and what a critical play. And it just, I love to be able to point out a guy like Jordan Thomas, right? Wayne blocks it, who was a guy who was kind of really does his role the way we ask, whether it's dime back and sub and played on special teams. And then another guy who we moved from running back to corner. He's going to be a really good corner. Just hasn't clicked quite yet for him. Yet he's doing things on special teams, and he does it exactly like he's coached. How many times do you see guys kick that ball forward when they're trying to pick it up? He took his time, got his knuckles on the ground, and scooped it up and off to the races. So huge play in the football game, and really happy for Jordan.
Coach, again here in the front.
Greg, I know you were preoccupied during the game, but have you since been told that Cincinnati lost, Louisville lost, so in essence, next week you're playing for first place in the Big East against Cincinnati?
I have been told that, yeah.
And just your thoughts on that, especially since Zach Collaros may be out, compared to suffer a knee injury?
I think it's great. Not that he got a knee injury, of course. I think it's great that we have a chance to do that. But I know this, it's all about what we do. As I told the kids, because of what we did, we don't have our destiny in our own hands, and we still don't. But we know we have to go out. We know we have to go out and play our best football next Saturday, regardless of what happens anywhere else. And I think this group of guys will be very, very motivated to do that. I know they will.
Right to your far left.
Greg, talk about the boost that Jeremy gave you guys running the football in the second quarter.
Well, I thought he would. You know, I said that early in the week, I said, you know, the one thing about Jeremy, he hits it downhill. And you could see that. He was hitting it downhill, and he was knocking some things back. And I really thought he was going to pop out on that one. The guy got him by an ankle. Otherwise, you know, you don't catch Jeremy. If he pops, he's gone. He's a fast guy. So, but we need him, right? With Savon down, and you know, he's going to have to be a big part of it.
Greg, you're far right over here.
What was it like for you guys to play here in Yankee Stadium today? What was the atmosphere like?
That was great. You know, from the minute we rolled in, it's neat. You know, we don't come to the stadium the day before. That's not what we do. So it was neat. We came a little bit early today because I knew their eyes would be, you know, and they were. I mean, the beautiful facility, and then to go out on the field, and you know, I told them, I said, enjoy it, soak it up, take your, you know, they worry, can we take pictures? Take your phones out, and then when you walk back down those steps, get ready to play. You know, preparing, enjoy it, and then get ready to play. And I think they did that. I think, you know, you look at an Army football team, they're tough, they're well coached, and their backs are against the wall. I mean, this was it. If they didn't win today, they can't be bowl eligible. I knew what we were going to get. Very similar to what we got against Navy. I mean, Navy's backs were against the wall. So these guys that play at the academies, you really don't want their backs against the wall. You're going to get some fighting, and that's what it was tonight. We talked about it as a team all week. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight all night. You're just going to have to be ready to keep coming back, and they did.
Greg, second row right over here.
Greg, your thoughts on before the game, Eric coming out for the coin toss and then Kasim wearing his number?
Well, just to have Eric around is great, you know. And I saw him as soon as we walked in the locker room. It was great. And he and Kaz kind of came up with that thing, him wearing his number. And Kaz kind of sprung it on me early in the week. I said, let me think about it. I was going to have to do it the whole week. So then when I told them they were going to do it, they were excited. You know, that jersey a little loose on Kaz. I told them, if anybody grabs you and you miss a tackle, it's your butt. Eric has a little more girth to him, so. But I thought it was good. You know, they're very close, like all the kids. But I think Kaz and Eric have a special bond. So for him to be able to wear that jersey, and they agreed with no name on the back, I thought that was neat.
Greg, directly up front.
Greg, can you just talk about Chase's performance on the side of him today?
Chase did some really good things. You know, I thought the pass that, you know, it would have been a great catch over the shoulder catch by Coleman. That was a good deep ball. Chase is a good deep ball thrower. The one interception, he made a bad play worse. He's got to let it die. Same thing that we talked about, Gary. We have to, at the quarterback position, realize that you can live to see another down. And sometimes we think that the whole game hinges on this play. It doesn't. Unless it's the last play of the game, the whole game doesn't hinge on this play. And we need to be able to just throw the ball away or even take a sack sometimes and play. You know, as I've talked to our quarterbacks in our quarterback room, it's okay to punt in college football. You know, they don't understand that it's a continuation. All you do is go out, you stop, and you get the ball back, and it's a continuation of the drive. So that's a challenge that Frank and I and the rest of the offensive staff we have. But I saw some really good things. We just got to get some things corrected. We need some of the other guys to get hot again. You know, we need Pratt to get hot again. We need some. You know, we need all the receivers to kind of get hot again. You know, maybe we're relying too much on him. I don't know. But I'm not going to stop throwing to Mo. The guy finds ways to get open. Frank does an incredible job of moving them all over the place, so you can get him the football, and you know, you trust Mo to catch it. So.
Greg, front row on the left.
Got time for 2 more questions?
Yep. Third row over here now.
Could you talk about Sanu's progress from day one and you had him to now?
Yeah. You know, Muhammad came here and we started him at defensive back, and he immediately was going to be a starting safety for us. He played there for 12 days, 12 spring practices. We felt like we didn't have enough offensive firepower, so we moved some guys over, and Mo immediately knew how good he was. Last year, because of our problems in the running game, we knew that there's a numbers advantage you gain by running the Wildcat, and Mo was our best player, and we did that. In retrospect, it was probably pretty hard on him physically, but he performed well until he got banged up. I think the fact that he's playing full-time receiver now this year, he's in Coach Flex meetings every day, he's working on solely wide receiver drills all day. You can see what kind of player he is. So I'm excited about I'm happy for him. He's like I said earlier, such a great person. And, to achieve what he has so far is great.